Hey guys, welcome back to the wonderful world of Utopia. It's been a little while. I got distracted for a few weeks, so I haven't been on Utopia. I got distracted in this creative world building a brand new castle. You see, a while ago, I built the fire shrine, and then I built the fire pagoda. So I thought it was about time that I did the fire castle. It does look pretty cool. It has nothing to do with Utopia, but I thought I would show you the inside of this castle just because it's going to be very different from the one that we are building in Utopia. So this one is just supposed to be grand and impressive. So we have super duper high ceilings, no furniture in this one. My Utopia castle will have lots and lots of furniture. And then we've just got another great big grand throne room in here. It does look cool, but it is, like I said, going to be very different from the Utopia castle. To start with, I won't be having grand ceilings like this. We'll be putting in tons of floors full of different rooms and furniture. But so far, we don't have any of that. We have nothing at all. We've just got a great big platform for the castle to sit on. So I was at a little bit of a loss on what to do for this episode because this castle is going to take forever to get stuff done. But then I realized the real life castle that I am copying has very simple walls. So I think I can at least get the walls done, and I will no doubt run out of materials constantly. So my plan for this episode, we're just going to start building, and as we run out of resources, we are going to deal with those problems. So I don't know if it'll just be gathering more resources or making machines. We will find out. We're going to start building and see what we run out of first. And I've actually started gathering a few resources in advance. And that did not take very long at all to run out of something, although I have got most of the walls up because that's nearly all white concrete, and everything I've done here around the windows is subject to change. I'm not sure what the interior is going to look like yet, but I like to put a lot of light around the windows. So when I look at the castle in shaders, this wall out here will be covered by the roof because of the overhang. So having a lot of light near the windows just makes it look a bit better in the shaders. But yeah, I've run out now because I've started working on all of the decorations on just underneath the overhang of the roof. And because the castle is white, I'm using quartz. So lots of quartz pillars and quartz slabs. And this is where I ran out of quartz. So the first thing we need is more quartz, which means I need masons. So I actually do have a ton of quartz in here, but this is all for comparators. I don't want to make blocks out of that because then if I ever need to build something huge with redstone, then I'm going to have to go mining in the nether again, and we want to avoid the nether because I don't have any fire resistance. So trading is the best way to go, and I do have a mason already. I think that might be him. Yeah, so I can get quartz off him, but he's the only one I have, and I need lots of quartz. So we're going to need a few more masons, which means we might as well build a house for our masons. This is what the wall looks like from the outside. It's pretty plain, but the real castle has a pretty plain wall, and you can see these little sort of arrow turrets where they can shoot down and no one can shoot them back. We've got that on about 3 walls, I think. So I've begun gathering resources for my new build, and originally this build, I really struggled with it. So I spent about 3 or 4 days working on designs because I thought if we're going to need a lot of masons, then it shouldn't be just a tiny little house. It should be a mason's guild, which I'm going to do in a bit of a mangrove theme. Just a subtle mangrove theme, so I've been getting all these trees here. So yeah, I started working on a great big grand building for the Masons Guild, and just nothing I built that I really liked. So I ended up changing tact completely. After wasting about 3 or 4 days, I decided, no, we don't need a huge guild. What I can do is just build a normal sort of villager house, and that mason can just have a bunch of apprentices to help him. So I was over here in the creative world where I designed my water shrine over there. And believe it or not, this is what the water shrine might have looked like at one stage. So I think I'm very lucky that the final version looked something like this. That is much better. But I came across this little version of it, and it looks like I was just cutting and pasting something. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was adjusting the roof because this roof is all mucked up here. It's a bit wider and flatter in that area. I don't know, but I came across this little build and I thought, that kind of looks cool in a dumb way. So I grabbed this, and then I was over here where I designed my armorer's workshop. And just in case you're curious, this is what the armorer's workshop might have looked like before I decided to put a second story on it. But it was the second story that got my attention because I really liked this little curve of the roof. So I grabbed this as well. And after I grabbed that, I just extended it. So I made it a little bit longer. And then I thought what I would do is just cram it into this little arched section of this build. Just like that. So this is starting to take some shape. I think it's looking okay, but it is missing something because in that original water shrine, I really liked this entrance with the 2 poles holding up the overhanging roof, and I just thought I would put that back in. So I quickly cut that out and then pasted it over to the front here. And I thought, yes, this is finally looking like something somewhat cool. So that is what we are going to build for our new mason's house, mason's workshop. I'm not sure what I'm calling it yet. So what do you think? Good design? I don't know. Not yet. Anyway, it has a little bit of work to be done. Okay, this town is starting to come together. So across the non-existent street from my base, we have the mason's house, and you can see just the tiny little hints of mangrove I put in there. So just up on top of the roof, we've got a bit of red, and then running around the building, there's bits of red wood in there as well. And I can sometimes be guilty of using too much spruce, so I've tried to transition the wood types a little bit. So we start with spruce down the bottom, and then up the top it goes to dark oak wood. And on the underside of the roof, I've thrown in some mud bricks as well, just to get a few different kinds of blocks in there. And then hidden behind those trapdoors, we've got lighting, just so in the shaders it lights up the underside of that roof. I think it's looking pretty nice. The back of the build looks like this, which we will never actually see because I doubt anyone would come back here. And I've also put this fence around the front. I may change this later, I'm not sure. But what I want to do is actually get the masons inside of here. So these are not going to be free masons. I don't want them running off all over the village. I want to trade with them. So underneath this moss carpet, I've got a little hole there. So hopefully they will not cross this. And hopefully I've blocked it off so they can't get out. Although I'm a bit worried that they will jump over this section. We'll find out once I put them in here. But yeah, I think it is looking pretty nice. It's a bit different from that first sort of draft version I showed you. And I've done a tiny bit of shading, not much. So in the darker areas here, rather than spruce, I've got the mangrove wood. And as we get out of the shadows, it transitions more to the spruce. But I want to do a lot more of that. I think in the roof as well. I want to change up the blocks there. But let's have a look inside. There is not much in here right now. It doesn't really have an interior. I've put some mats in the floor and like separated the rooms here. So I'm thinking this will be the mason's bedroom. And now at the front here would be the kitchen and living area. But we're going to have more than one mason. So we need somewhere for his apprentices. So out here we've got the open air sort of workshop. So if it's raining, they can work in here. And then just to the side of that, we're going to have a little room where we can put a few beds in for our apprentices. So I don't know what any of this is going to look like yet, but I do need a lot of decoration. So I thought what I would do is get my masons in here so I can trade with them as I'm building. And I can also see if they're going to escape over the top of this fence. Alrighty, we will get the first guy in here. And please don't escape. I think he's pretty secure in there. Come on, out you go. I need to get my masons in here. You're free. Run away. Oh no. He got out. Oh, what? Oh, he must have climbed over that bit of fence. Alright, dude. Come get your workstation. No, he's not moving. So maybe he can't see it past the fence, but he can still jump over it. Come on, go get your workstation. I don't know. We'll get the other guys in and we'll deal with this problem later. When I have 3 in here, it'll be a lot easier to get one to escape, I imagine. Ooh, he's selling dripstone. I might as well grab that. And that will be the last one, I think. I don't think I need 4 masons in here. It'll get a little bit crowded. All right, let's try and get these guys to escape again so I can fix up that fence. Okay, well, they're not taking the bait, so I might just raise this up anyway. It looks a little bit horrible. Gosh, how's it look connecting to the balcony bit? Oh, okay, I get it. Maybe it wasn't the fence. They're getting out there. Must be, I'm thinking they're getting on that first bit of carpet and then it's just easy for them to end up on the second one. All right, so that doesn't look quite as nice, but I think that may have been the problem. Yeah, that fence looks horrible. Okay, I'm going to put that back the way it was, and I think, yeah, maybe that wasn't a problem at all. Can they even jump over that fence? Okay, we just in a creative world now, we are going to test this out. Do they actually jump over that? It doesn't look like it. Okay, let's give him a bit. Oh, cool, he's got a pumpkin on his head. Give him a bit more incentive to jump out. No, I think we're good with the fence. Okay, this is not good. We don't want them breeding. Okay, so they're good. Good. Yeah, there are no beds out here. So, yeah, I just got a bit worried for a second. Okay, so I've fixed up that fence. It looks much, much better now. But we do need to decorate. I'm not sure if I'm going to bother with all the interiors just yet, but we need to make the outside look a little bit nicer. So they are masons. We need a lot of masonry, which is basically going to be piles of stone. But I can't just have stone. I need a few other things. So I think I'm going to put a crane in here. I don't know if they used little cranes to move the big rocks in ancient Japan, but we're going to do it. It's a bit of a fantasy build, so I can do what I want. And because my original inspiration for this build was the water shrine, I might actually take this pillar out the front and turn that into a crane. It kind of looks like a crane already, doesn't it? Okay, this is a little odd. So these two farmers were hanging out over there at the schoolhouse where the bell is. But as soon as I moved the masons in here, they are just lingering around this area. They probably think it's a separate village now, maybe because they're so far away. I don't know. But yeah, I guess when I go to build farmer houses, they might need to be out in this area if you guys are going to keep hanging out here. Anyway, my crane is in. It's just a little crane, nothing special, but I think it looks all right. It's very much like that pillar in the water shrine. So I figured they can bring big rocks in here, pick it up and just spin that around and help them get it into this area. So I put a lantern in here. So I guess they've built that. They're masons. They would create lanterns and stuff. Other than that, I've just got a pile of bricks here. I figured bricks needed to be undercover, so just made a little covering for them. And I've got a wheelbarrow. And we've got another pile of masonry over here. So it's just tough and andesite. Looks nice, but we can't just do more piles of rocks. I needed something else. So I did a little bit of research into how they moved the big boulders, and I found a picture of them with it on a sort of sled with these rollers on it, and the rollers looked pretty much exactly like this, like campfires with the little rollers underneath. So we would need to have a big block of something in there. Then that looks a little funny, and I thought about surrounding it with more campfires, but it's just getting too big. It'd have to be like have a bit more on that side. Let's get that chest out of the way. So I think what I'm going to do is just stick with a few campfires there, and we will put some signs on the side like that. So it sort of looks like it. That brick is on rollers. I can't have the brick above the campfires because then it would be floating in air like that, and that looks really silly. But I think that looks pretty good. It's a big rock on a sled, and we'll give it some handles. Boom. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. And while we're here, we will do a little barrel of something. Let's move these inside, I think. We'll chuck one up here. Yeah, you can sit there for the moment. So I saw the way they make walls. They get the big boulders in, and then they get smaller rocks and they sort of hammer them into all the gaps. So I figured that coral kind of looks like a barrel of smaller little pebbles that they would need. Put another pebble there. Okay, it's coming along. I don't know, I'll just run around, figure out a few more decorations and put those in. Okay, I haven't done anything else on the outside, but I've fixed up this room a little bit, so I didn't know what to do with these workstations, so this is what I came up with for a stone cutting table. I think it looks okay. I've got all my emeralds and quartz in here that I've been trading, and I thought I read somewhere when I was doing my research that they used bamboo as lubrication. I think maybe for these sleds, like they would crush up the bamboo and put it in the rollers or something so it slid easier. I'm not sure if I read it or not, but I put a little stack of bamboo in there. I think it looks okay. And we've got another pile of rocks, and we also have a problem. So this guy over here, his trades are going just fine. So he's ready to trade again because he can reach the workstations. But the other two dopey guys are stuck in here in the house. They're trying to get to the workstation, but they think they can walk through the bamboo window. So their trades are not replenishing. So until I figure out a better solution, I think I'm just going to ban them from the house. So I'll do what I did over here where I've got these carpet over at the top of a big hole and the carpet's just sitting on signs and they think they can't cross it. Ooh, wandering trader, cool. So I think I'll just put one of them in there. Let's just quickly check this guy. I want to see if he's got anything good. You creeps are all hanging out the back of the house. Blue ice, I've already got that. I've already got moss. Nah, don't need him. Okay, I'm just going to get the outside of this build done. So I think we need a nice path out here. It'll have to be stone. If we're moving big boulders around and we have like a path block path, it would get very muddy out here. So we need a nice stony area. Okay, what are you? You're the toolsmith. You're my iron buddy, but you're a weaponsmith. Where is the other dude? Okay, it doesn't look like he's fallen down into the river. I am pretty sure I am missing somebody here. And here's my other weaponsmith. Oh no, it's probably not a huge deal, but I spent all this time making the armorer's workshop in a previous episode, and I'm pretty sure my armorer is now dead. I can't find him anywhere. So that's an abandoned building. I'm going to have to make another armorer. I'll probably make one and then he'll show up and I'll get into a fight. I don't know. But for this episode, guys, I thought I would get much more done on the castle, but we've ended up spending the entire time on the mason's shop. And I do think it is a lovely addition to the village, and I'm so glad I put that crane in. Even if it isn't, properly realistic, I don't know if it is or not, it does look cool. It makes it look like this building has more of a purpose. And it's going to look so nice once I get the road in. And I might end up doing the road in a similar style to the way I did this path area. So I've done a bit of coral in with the stone there. And then around the edges, I've put some path blocks. I just think it makes the stone stand out so much more from the grass around the edges. So I think I really like this design. I think a lot of my roads will look like this. Other than this pathy area, all I've done is I thought this room looked a little plain, so I just put some fence gates up around the edges there for a bit more decoration. But that is it. I still haven't done anything for the rest of the interior. But I think we're going to call it here for the day. I've got lots of trading to do. We need to get some quartz so we can get started on the castle again. And as I was doing some trading over there, I just realized that in any moment I am going to run out of pale oak logs because I'm about to start placing a lot of pale oak in the castle as well. So maybe a tree farm is on the cards for the next episode. I'm not quite sure yet. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Cortezerino, and I will see you next time.